Now, I'll say to anybody, my ego will never be big enough to run for office. I feel that I could serve people. I know that even being a lobbyist, I could serve people and make government do what it needs to do. I can have my freedom, my weekends, and stream to you, right? But there'll never be a point in my life where I'm saying to myself, hey, I need to be elected in order to make change, in order to have an impact here in people's lives, right? I need to be in front of a TV camera. I need to be and I think the ego is a beautiful thing to waste, right? But that guy right there, he pissed me off because again, like I've said 3-4 times already, this guy's like he's saying the same shit over and over again, right? Somebody who's buried somebody, it's like, bro, they don't want to hear this bullshit, bro. They probably voted for you, and it's like, I voted for you to help keep our streets safe, and I've lost 2 family members in 2 years. You talk about re-election, and we don't need help. You can't convince them. I'm gonna hope we find some TikToks and people on the ground see what they say. But let's see what CNN has to say. And we surpassed, I just checked a second ago, over 4,600 subscribers. Thank y'all, everybody who's tapped in today and subscribed. I appreciate every single one. I'm not asking for money, I'm not begging for change, but I appreciate your time for taking it with your boy and help growing out this channel, this community. Let's see what CNN has to say about this crackdown.
Increasing threats to deploy federal forces to Chicago. The president said the Trump administration is increasing threats to deploy federal forces to Chicago. The president said he wants a crackdown on crime there, while the Democratic governor of Illinois, JB Pritzker, is calling it something else, a potential invasion. So far this Labor Day weekend, dozens of shootings have been reported in Chicago. The president is warning that Pritzker, he better, quote, straighten it out fast or we're coming. The governor says the White House is making plans in secret without communicating with his office, and it does come as CNN is reporting that the Trump administration is planning a major immigration operation in Chicago as early as this week. Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem has confirmed that ICE will expand operations in that city and other locations. But Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson has now signed an executive order instructing local police not to assist in any federal immigration crackdown. Let's get right to Chicago this morning for the latest. CNN's Whitney Wild is there. Whitney,
who put a battery in this nigga's
John,
back?
The expectation here is that there are going to be federal resources surged into the city of Chicago
by
Friday. The expectation is that's going to look like at least armored vehicles, very likely boots on the ground here. And when you're looking at some framework across the country to find out how this is going to look in Chicago, the question is it going to look like Washington, D.C., or is it going to look like Los Angeles? And our sources are telling us that this is going to look a lot more like Los Angeles, and that means that this is going to be an immigration push. So the plan here, as we understand it, is that this is going to surge immigration agents to Chicago. The potential for the National Guard deployment would be for a peacekeeping effort. The White House in Los Angeles had previously said that the role of the National Guard was really to ensure that these agents can carry out their immigration duties effectively and safely. The city is doing whatever they can to try to stop this ahead of time, John. And law enforcement here will admit that there's just, and city leaders here will admit there's just not a lot that they can do. The Illinois Attorney General has made clear he cannot file a lawsuit preemptively. Meanwhile, Brandon Johnson, as you had mentioned, signed an executive order reaffirming the city's steps in reaction to this. So it directs city officials not to engage with federal officials as they carry out these actions. Specifically, the Chicago Police Department is not to partake in any of these actions.
My bad, y'all. Sending emails, not even checking the layout.
To try to stop this. Meanwhile, Governor JB Pritzker, who has publicly sparred with President Trump, who has drawn the president's ire by name, is firing back. Here are some very terse words from JB Pritzker on this potential immigration deployment.
No one in the administration, the president or anybody under him, has called anyone in my administration and me have not called the city of Chicago or anyone else. So it's clear that in secret they're planning this. Well, it's an invasion with U.S. troops if they in fact do that.